Welcome to The Explainer. We're about to dive into one of the most incredible engineering projects on the entire planet. And that's how a human body can completely remake itself to build a whole other person, basically from scratch. So, how in the world does this actually happen? Let's follow the biological blueprint, because what you're going to see is how nearly every single system in the body gets this radical top to bottom upgrade. Trust me, it is so much more than just a growing belly. All right, here's our game plan. We're going to take this from the inside out. We'll start at the very center of creation. Then look at the life support system, how it's all fueled, the changes you see on the outside, and finally, who's the mastermind coordinating this whole thing? Okay, first up, the construction site itself. The most dramatic, unbelievable remodeling happens right here, in the reproductive organs. They get completely re-engineered for the massive task that's coming. The sheer scale of this change is just staggering. I mean, look at this. The uterus goes from about the size of a small pear, weighing maybe 60 grams, to something that can weigh almost 1,000 grams. Think about that. That's more than a 15-fold increase in weight. It's all just incredible muscle cell growth. And the design here is just brilliant. This new muscle isn't just for size. It's got a purpose. See, the middle layer is woven in this incredible figure-8 pattern. So after birth, when those muscles contract, they act like a living clamp or a ligature, squeezing the blood vessels shut. It's a perfect built-in safety system to prevent hemorrhage. So clever. And the prep work doesn't stop there. Further down, the cervix starts to soften, getting ready for delivery. And at the same time, the vaginal walls get thicker and even more acidic. Why? Well, it creates this powerful natural barrier to guard against any potential infections. All right, so the main structure is under construction, but how do you support it? You need utilities, right? The body's core infrastructure, think of it as its plumbing and electrical systems, is about to get a massive upgrade to provide life support. So, upgrade number one, more transport fluid. A lot more. The body literally boosts its blood plasma volume by a full 50%. It's all about making sure there are more than enough resources to go around for everyone. Now, you might be thinking, what about the red blood cells? Well, they increase too, but they just can't keep up with this huge surge in plasma. This creates what's called hemodilution. The blood gets a bit thinner, and that explains why hemoglobin levels often look like they're dropping. But here's the key. It's a totally normal, totally necessary adaptation. It's not a problem at all. So where is all this extra blood going? Well, a huge chunk of it gets rerouted directly to the construction site. I mean, check this out. Uterine blood flow just skyrockets from a tiny 50 milliliters per minute to a whopping 750. That is a 15-fold increase, all to feed the placenta. And of course, to manage all this extra volume and flow, the pump itself, the heart, has to adapt. It literally gets bigger and stronger, just like any muscle you put into training. It starts pumping more blood with every single beat. And this whole cardiovascular remodel, it's exactly why many people feel warmer or get a stuffy nose during pregnancy. It's just the effect of all that increased blood flow everywhere. All right, so the life support system is upgraded and running. But how does the body actually fuel this massive, energy-hungry construction project? Well, that's where the metabolism gets a complete and total overhaul. On average, this whole project adds about 11 kilograms of weight. But here's the really fascinating part. Where does that weight actually come from? I'll give you a hint. It's probably not what you're thinking. See, have a look at this. The baby itself, that's only about a third of the total gain. The rest of it, the vast majority, is the incredible support system the body builds. We're talking extra blood, all those fluids, the placenta, the uterus, and really crucial fat and protein stores for the mother. And to power this whole operation, the body's engine just runs hotter. The basal metabolic rate, that's basically the energy you burn just by being alive, it can increase by up to 30%. This is all to make sure there's a constant, high-priority fuel line of glucose that's always open for the fetus. Okay, so all of these amazing internal changes, they don't stay hidden for long. Let's take a look at how this massive internal project starts to become visible, how it shows on the outside. The skin really becomes a canvas for all these hormonal shifts happening inside. You'll see things like increased pigmentation, what's sometimes called the pregnancy mask on the face, or that dark line that can appear down the abdomen. And of course, the skin is stretching, and stretching fast, which is where stretch marks come from.
Hey, remember that incredible uterine growth we talked about right at the beginning? Well, here is a direct physical consequence. As the uterus expands, it actually pushes the diaphragm up. That, in turn, makes the whole chest circumference get wider. And that upward pressure on the lungs? That's exactly why feeling a little short of breath is so common.
And to keep from tipping over with all that new weight out front, the body has to adjust its center of gravity. How does it do that? The lower back curves in more. It develops what's called lumbar lordosis. It's a really clever trick to maintain balance, but yeah, it's also the culprit behind that classic pregnancy backache and waddle. Okay, so this brings up a huge question. Who is conducting this entire body-wide orchestra? How are all these different systems, from the heart to the blood to the skin, all being coordinated so perfectly? The answer, as you might guess, is a flood of incredibly powerful hormones. And the placenta is so much more than just a life support system for the fetus. For a few months, it's a temporary powerhouse hormone factory. The massive levels of estrogen and progesterone it pumps out are responsible for almost everything we've talked about. The breast changes, the skin pigmentation, uterine growth, they are the master conductors of this project. So here's how these master conductors get the job done. First, the placenta just floods the body with estrogen and progesterone. These hormones then get to work directly, stimulating the changes in the uterus and breasts. But they also send signals out system-wide, telling blood vessels to relax, kicking the metabolism into high gear, basically directing a total body overhaul from just these few key signals. It's incredible. So I have to ask, is there a more complex and coordinated project a single human body can undertake? When you see it all laid out like this, from the cellular level all the way up to a simple shift in posture, you realize this is anything but a passive waiting period. It is one of the most active, dynamic, and truly awe-inspiring feats of human biology. A total remaking of one body, all for the creation of another.